Hi folks, hope you all had a great weekend and well done for those of you that submitted the great work last week. You'll find the work for this week on the Teams page as usual. So if you go to Files and then tap number 1 Elements and Periodic Table and then tap on Elements Tasks Week 6. We'll start by looking at the learning intentions and success criteria. So this week we will be learning about some of the properties of metal and non-metal elements. You'll see from the success criteria that you should be able to state what is meant by a property of an element. You should be able to name some properties a substance could have. You should be able to state some properties of metal elements. You should also be able to state some properties of non-metal elements. And finally, you should be able to select elements that would be most suitable for a particular use based on their properties. As usual, there will be a checklist that you can find here. So we'll look at that next. So if you're watching this video, well done. You're already completing the first task. You'll be able to re-watch the video by clicking on the link at the top of the checklist. Second task is to go to BBC Bitesize and read the information that's found on the page about different properties of elements. And you can do that by clicking on the second link on the checklist. Next, you're going to open the file that is in the Week 6 folder, which has the booklet tasks for this week. And I'm going to go through those tasks in a few moments. But what you're going to do is read the information on page 1 and then complete the tasks on pages 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. You can write these answers in your jotter or on paper, or you can download a copy of the booklet and type your answers into your own copy. After you've completed the booklet tasks, you can then try the Kahoot quiz. You just enter the PIN number like you normally would if you were in class to do the Kahoot. It's really important that you do the booklet tasks first, otherwise you won't know any of the answers to the Kahoot questions. And then the final task for this week is the assignment quiz that will be posted later in the week to give everyone time to complete the other tasks first. Again, you must complete the booklet task first, otherwise you won't know any of the answers to the assignment quiz questions. So now I'm going to take you through the booklet tasks for this week. So we're in number 6 folder, Elements Task Week 6. So you tap on the one that's called Properties of Metals and Non-Metals. Okay, so we're learning about properties. So a property is a particular feature of a substance. It's something that you can describe about a substance. And a property is something that can allow a substance to be used for a specific job. Properties of elements that we're going to be looking at are listed on this page. So make sure you read this information and you understand what each of the words mean. And you also need to make sure you keep going back to this page to help you answer the questions. So you can see some of the properties listed on this page include dense, brittle, malleable, conductor of heat or electricity, sonorous, ductile, hard, lustrous and strong. These are all properties of substances, and these properties allow some substances to be used for a specific job. So this is what we're going to be learning about, what the properties all are, what the words all mean, and which properties make substances most suitable for a specific job. So after you've read page 1, you're going to look at some properties of metals on page 2. We've learned that most of the elements in the periodic table are metals, and we know that they can be found on the left-hand side of the periodic table. On this page, you're looking to complete the sentences using the words in the word bank. So for the first one, metals have the following properties. They are something, and this word means shiny when freshly cut or polished. So you're looking for the word in the word bank that means shiny, and you're going to write that into the space. You're then going to go through the other 4 sentences and use the words in the word bank that go in the right place. Next, you're going to match the property of the metal to the correct object. So you're going to look at each object and think about what that object is used for. What is it that you want that object to do? You then choose the property from the list in the middle of the page that allows that object to do that job. So, as an example, if you look on the top right hand side of the page, you'll see the brass trumpet. That is a musical instrument. It's something that you want to use to get sound from. The bottom of the list of properties, you'll see the word sonorous. Sonorous means that the metal makes a sound. So you can draw a line between the word sonorous at the bottom of the list and the brass trumpet, because that is the most important property that the trumpet has. You want it to make sound, and because the metal is sonorous, that allows the trumpet to make sound. If you've got your own copy of the booklet, you can just draw a line between the word sonorous and the trumpet. If you're doing it in your jotter, you could write trumpet and beside it then write sonorous, and you make a list for the rest of the objects. You'll see that there are 9 pictures in total, but there's only 6 properties on the list, so you will have to use some of the properties more than once. Also, some of the objects might have more than one property, but you should only choose one property for each picture. You're only choosing the property that is the most useful to allow the object to do that job. The next part is some research and scientific literacy about some uses of metals. So you can go online to find the answers on which metal is used for each of the jobs on the list. So the first one, you can find out which metal is used to make doors and window frames. The second one, find out which metal is used to make nails, and so on for the rest of the uses on the page. After that, we're going to look at non-metals and what they are used for. This is also a literacy task, and what you're going to do here is you're going to read the paragraph in blue text about different non-metals and what they're used for. You're then going to summarise this information in a table. So you're taking the key bits of information from the paragraph and putting them into your table. Your table should have 2 headings. So one heading could be non-metal, and the other heading could be use, because that is what the paragraph is telling us about. It's what non-metals are used for. So you'll see the first sentence in the paragraph is neon gas is used in brightly coloured advertising signs. So how I would summarise that in a table is I would write the word neon underneath the heading that said non-metal, and I would write advertising signs underneath the second heading, which is use. And that way I'm summarising what the non-metal neon is used for. And then I'll go through the rest of the paragraph and do the same. Identify the non-metal and the use. And then the final part of the booklet is summarising everything we've learned about properties of metals and non-metals and filling in the blanks in the table. As usual, please let me know on Teams if you have any questions, and you can also join the live drop-in session which will take place later in the week. And I'll speak to you all soon.